Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing and football tips for Saturday, the 3rd of February. Well, it's been awful racing the last few days, so there's been no tips. I'll be looking to give some more out if I can, but it's been dreadful at times. So let me get into it. I'm quickly going to go through the football bet. I know a lot of you don't want the football bet, but I'm going to go through it very quickly and get it out of the way for those that do. So it doesn't really matter what the stakes are, I can be honest, because I know a lot don't follow me in, but I've actually made it so it's pretty much a £30 day. £12.60 on the horses and about £17 on the football. So it's a £9 over 2.5 goals treble. And the matches are, this is what you need to know really. The matches are Mansfield versus Notts County, Salford versus Wrexham, and Stockport County versus Harrogate. So then it's a £4 over 3.5 goal treble, the same matches. A £2 over 4.5 goal treble, same matches. And then I've gone for this because in those matches there's an awful lot at stake, but a lot of the teams are very high scoring. They do score a lot of goals, and the team that is on the up is a team called Harrogate. And they're in good form. There was actually right down there with relegation. They're in good form, and they could prove interesting. So I've gone for a 50p Trixie, which comes to £2. It's a 50p a player to get sent off in the match, Trixie. So you need 2 out of the 3 to come up because it's doubles and trebles. So it's the Salford and Wrexham match, Stockport County and Harrogate, and Mansfield and Notts County once again, but this time it's a player to get sent off in the match. So let's go to the horse racing that you've all been waiting for. So what I've had is there's some prices I like the look of, and there's some stingy ones. So I put the bet on twice. So it's basically I've had a 10p each way lucky 63, but I've split it into two 5p each way lucky 63s. As I said, one of the bets I've taken all the prices. One of the bets I've left all the prices. So let me get into it. So the first selection is No Cruise Yet. In the 215 at Musselburgh, paying 5 places instead of 3. I do really like the look of this horse. It's trained by Sam England and ridden by, I believe it's her husband, Jonathan England. It stays all day. I think it doesn't want soft ground, which it's actually ran on recently. It's actually ran okay-ish, and it stays all day. And it's also a horse that likes to be up there with the pace. And I think this is basically the Sam and Jonathan England Grand National. This is worth a lot of money. I think it's 53,000 to the winner. I think they've got a well handicapped horse. They've got a decent horse, and it will be up there making the pace. I just hope it isn't taken on, but it's roughly about 16 to 1. With it being a small stable, obviously I've also left the price in this bet thinking it could drift. The second selection is War Soldier in the 242 at Wetherby, paying 4 places instead of 3. This horse's career has stumbled slightly. It was on the up, then it ran at Cheltenham, ran a stinker, and it's been only, I won't say average, but it's not been outstanding since. It's had a break. It ran okay last time. And I think, once again, it's one of those horses that maybe doesn't want bottomless ground. Well, I think it's soft at Wetherby. And up north, it's very windy. And I think it's going to be no slower than good to soft come tomorrow, I think. So I think it'll suit this horse. And hopefully this horse will get back on track. The next selection is Zandabad in the 250 at Musselburgh, paying 4 places instead of 3. This horse hasn't shown a great deal. I can't remember too much about it, to be fair. But I think it's been messed around with because I think I've gone for 2 of his horses. But I'll talk you through this one anyway. In fact, hold on, let me just scroll down. Yeah, it's further down. So I've gone for Zandabad, and there's also another one trained by AJ Martin. And I think it's been crafty with them because I can't remember which one it is. It's either this one or the other one that's further down the bet where it's been running over about 1 mile 2, 1 mile 4. It looks like it enjoys that distance, and then I'm pretty sure it's this horse. And then what's happened is, for me, it's ran 3 okay races over hurdles in slow ground. It's then raced on good ground over 2 mile, I think, then good to firm over 2 mile. And I think it doesn't want that distance on the flat, but I think it's okay over hurdles. And then I think its most recent run was over hurdles, and it was over 2.5 mile on soft ground. And I don't think it wants that distance either. I think basically they are just blowouts. They're just keeping the horse ticking over. And I think you will see a different horse today using its 1 mile 2, 1 mile 4 speed at Musselburgh, which is a flat track. It's easy to get round, or it's easy to get home, should I say? By the way, it's not a demanding track. It probably favours like flat horses, if I'm being honest, or speed merchants. Yeah, and I think it's been slightly messed around with, and I think you'll see a much better run tomorrow. The next selection is Dubrovnik Harry in the 3:10 at, I said Sedgefield then, at Sandown, paying 5 places instead of 3. I tipped this horse last time. It stopped very quickly at Haydock. Hopefully, it just hopefully needed the run. It ran a decent race on its reappearance at Cheltenham. If it repeats that form, it's due to run well again. I just don't know what happened at Haydock. Sometimes horses can sometimes run a bit poorly at Haydock. Obviously, they can any track, but sometimes it can be quite a demanding track. And I'll be honest, I don't know. I'm trying to explain why it ran bad. I don't know. I'm not the connections, and I think if it runs much more like its reappearance run, it's got every chance of at least making the 3. So I think it's about 16-1. The next selection is Java Point in the 3:45 at Sandown, paying 4 places instead of 3. This horse, it ran at Newbury last time. It also ran at Newbury in the corresponding race the year before. I think there's like a veteran. They call it Masters. I'm guessing it's like a veterans chase. I believe it's one of the younger horses, but I'm not bothered about that. It's been running competitively in against youngsters. It's not been confined to these veterans and Masters chasers. I think this horse is still. I won't say it's on the upgrade, but I don't think it's it's declining yet. Whereas some of the others are, and I think this horse will be prominent, and I think it could be hard to pass because it stays further than this anyway. And I do like the look of it, and I find it interesting that pretty much the owners of beforehand. I think there was 3 owners. There's now 2 owners, and it's 2 out of the 3 owners that used to own it before, but they've now switched it. I think it's had a few runs now, maybe. I think it's ran once actually for the stable. It's trained now by Henry Oliver. I can't remember who it was trained by last time. It doesn't really matter, but I do like Henry Oliver when he trains these national hunt, these chasing types. Basically, I'm blubbering now. I think it'll be prominent throughout, and I think it could be hard to pass. And if it doesn't pull up, if it doesn't get brought down, if it doesn't fall, I think you can't kick it out of the places. But you've always got that potential to happen. And finally, the other AJ Martin horse, Superbolt, in the 4:35 at Musselburgh, paying 4 places instead of 3. So in a nutshell, I think it's been running undercover or covertly. It's they've kept things very quiet. This horse ran down the pack, and I think you'll see a different horse tomorrow. And it could well be looking for the double up. AJ Martin could. Some nice little prize money available. I don't think this is one of the more valuable races, but it could be a profitable day for AJ Martin. He used to be renowned for winning all the handicaps at one point. It was one of the first big Irish trainers that used to mop up everything. He's gone a bit quiet now, and I think the kind of Gordon Elliott's and Mullins has overtook him by. But don't get wrong, it can still get these winners that win with the head in the chest. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I do believe that this horse. It's interesting is bringing Turbo tomorrow, and they both had a very interesting campaign so far, or lead up to this race or to these races. So, if you give me a like or a subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Let's hope we can get 16-1 to win. Oh, by the way, I was going to tip a win selection. I can't remember the race now, but it's at Musselburgh, and it could be the first race. Paul Nicholls and John McConnell, I think they had the favourite and second favourite in this race last year, and I believe they both fell, the horses. They've both got runners in it this year. I believe that Paul Nicholls will win that race. He's got a horse that ran behind Fugitive last time. It was only 4-1 in that race, and it was a very hot race, and it was never it was prominent then weakened. I looked through the form, and I might still back it, but I haven't backed it yet. But I think it favours flat tracks, so I do believe that it will be suited by Musselburgh, and I think they'll be skipping Cheltenham with it. It has run at Cheltenham, but it never seems to finish off its race properly when it runs at Cheltenham. As in, like, I think they use it as like fitness, like like a really undulating course, get it really blowing, and then because it's got a lot of speed, it travels very well for a very long time on these flat tracks. Well, I think it could run very well tomorrow, and I'm actually probably going to back it to win tomorrow, depending what price it is. But currently, I think it's about 7-2. I nearly included it as my first selection. In fact, I think it's 9-4. I was looking for 7-2. Yeah. I was looking for it to like start off the bet as a winner, but I've just excluded it in the end and gone for 6 bigger price horses. But it's one worth to keep in mind. I think it's called something like Miranamar or something like that. Miranar. Anyway, I think it's won in the first few races at Musselburgh. I think it's called Miranar, trained by Paul Nicholls. Anyway, the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.